Hi guys, this is Attorney Pramdi and welcome back to my channel. So I would like to share with you another labor case naman, this time filed by construction workers laban sa isang engineering company. So this was promulgated by the Supreme Court last July 2020 with GR number 201247. Okay? So itong labor case na to was filed in 2004. So imagine, 16 years tumagal yung kaso. Alright? So paano po nagsimula yung kaso na to? Itong ating employer ay isang construction company. So in 2003, nakipag-merge siya sa isang company and nagpalit sila ng pangalan. So, dahil nagkaroon ng merger, etong tatlong construction workers natin, hindi pala tatlo, 6, okay, ay tinanggal on the basis of the completion of the project. Kasi bilang mga project employees sila ng construction company, their employment automatically terminates after the completion of each project. Okay? Di ba ganyan sa construction industry? I-hire ka for a particular project and then kapag natapos yung project, automatic na terminate yung iyong employment as a construction worker. Okay. Now, so in 2004, tinanggal itong 6 na construction workers. Nag-file sila ngayon ng illegal dismissal case sa DOLE. Okay? Laban sa kanilang kumpanya. Ngayon, ang claim ng kumpanya, sila ay project employees. And they were validly terminated kasi natapos na yung proyekto. Okay? So, ang sabi ng kumpanya, hindi sila regular employees, they are project employees hired for a specific project, and the termination of the project at the time, the termination of the project was explained to them or was made known to them at the time they were hired. Sabi ni employer na ipaliwanag na during the hiring process, nasabi sa kanila kung kailan magtatapos yung project na to. So, ayun yung sabi ni employer. Ngayon, in addition, sabi ni respondent, hinar itong mga construction workers sa iba-ibang construction projects nila from the year 1990. So, nung nag-file sila or natanggal sila in 2004, they are already working for 14 years, more or less, sa company. Alright? So, ayun. Yung scope and duration ng work nila ay nakalagay sa kontrata, sabi ni employer, and the project employment contract expired upon the completion of the specific project. So, they are now separated from service. Kaya sila wala na ngayon sa trabaho. Yan ang sabi ni employer. Ngayon, for the part of the construction workers, ang sabi nila, hindi sila project employees, sila ay regular employees na employer, and sila ay na-hire, hindi sila sabay-sabay na na-hire Na-hire sila sa magkakaibang date to perform task na necessary and desirable sa construction business ni employer. Okay. Ngayon, yung employment period ng complainant started as early, itong mga complainants started as early as 1975. Hindi kasi sila pare-pareho eh. So may nag-start ng 1975, 1982, 1997, and 1998. So lahat sila tinerminate noong 2001. Hindi rin pare-pareho yung date of termination nila, pero lahat sila na-terminate noong 2001. So, balikan natin. Nag-file sila ngayon ng illegal dismissal case. And ayun nga, sa position paper, inalleged nila yan. Sabi ng mga construction workers, hindi nila na-enjoy yung mga benefits na binibigay ng kumpanya sa kanilang mga regular employees, gaya ng Christmas bonus, hospitalization benefits, sick leave, vacation leave, SIL, yung tinatawag na service incentive leave, sabi. Ngayon, bakit sabi ni construction workers sila ay regular employees? Because, according to them, they performed tasks na vital, necessary, and indispensable sa construction business ni employer. Kasi nagtatrabaho sila bilang carpenter, pipe fitter, plumber, and steelman. Ito yung mga trabaho nung natanggal na construction workers. So sabi nila, vital, necessary, and desirable sa construction business ni employer. So, dapat sila ay makonsider na regular employees. Alright? Ngayon, sabi pa ng mga construction workers, although nag-sign sila ng employment contracts para sa ilang proyekto na employer, naulit yung kanilang pagtatrabaho nung ilipat sila sa ibang proyekto na wala ng employment contract. Okay? Wala nang. So, yung employment contract nila, meron sa ibang proyekto, pero sa ibang proyekto, wala. Okay? So, ayun yung sabi ng employees. Ngayon, in addition, sabi ng mga construction workers, hindi nakapag-report itong si employer kay sa Department of Labor and Employment every time na matoterminate yung kanyang project. Kasi meron tayo under the rules for employers engaged in construction business, kailangan mag-submit ng notice of termination sa Department of Labor and Employment every time na may project na natatapos. Okay? Kasi tuwing may project na natatapos, meron ding mga project employees na nag-i-end yung kanilang employment. So, kailangan yung i-report sa DOLE. Ngayon, sabi ng mga construction workers, hindi ito na i-report sa DOLE. Alright. Since naging regular employees sila, sabi nitong mga construction workers sa kanilang position paper, entitled sila sa lahat ng benefits ng isang regular employee, including security of tenure. Kasi ilang years na sila sa kumpanya. So, sinasabi nila na sila ay illegally terminated and kailangan silang i-reinstate with the award of back wages and other monetary benefits. Ngayon, ano ang sabi ni labor arbiter? Well, the labor arbiter pointed out na hindi nakapagpresenta itong si kumpanya ng dokumento na every time na natatapos ang project, nataterminate din itong employment ng mga construction workers. Okay? Kasi nga nabanggit natin kanina na hindi sa lahat ng project meron silang employment contract. So, yung employment contract nila, sa ibang project meron, pero sa ibang project wala. Okay? So, sabi ni labor arbiter, yung failure ng company na yon na makapag-present ng document showing yung termination ng project. Okay? Malaking bagay yon. Sabi pa ni labor arbiter, nung hinar sila for one project and then ni-rehire for another project, and nagkaroon ng repetition yung ganoon for more than 20 to 30 years in several other projects. sabi ni labor arbiter, hindi na ito, nawala na sila sa scope ng project employment. This showed that the construction workers have become regular employees. Kasi nirehire sila in several projects for 20 to 30 years. Okay? Since hindi nga sila pare-pareho ng hiring dates or hiring years. Okay, now, sabi ni labor arbiter, where the employment of project employees is extended long after the first project had been finished, the employees are removed from the scope of project employment. So, ayun nga. Kapag ka-in-extend mo yung project employment ng isang project employee, okay, after na matapos yung project kung saan mo siya hinire, nawala sila ngayon sa scope ng project employment. Alright? So, they have become regular employees. Yun ang sabi ni labor arbiter. However, yung sinasabi ng construction workers na hindi nakapag-submit itong si employer ng report sa DOLE every time na may matatapos na project, okay, hindi iyon yung hindi iyon mag-work para matawag na regular employee sila. It does not make them automatically regular employees. Alright? Hindi yon. But the fact surrounding the case, yung repeated rehiring, walang employment contract showing the duration of the project sa lahat ng projects, and then they were repeatedly hired for 20 to 30 years in several projects. Ayun yung kinonsider ni labor arbiter nung dinesisyonan niya yung case na to. So, sabi ni labor arbiter, they're regular employees, so they enjoy the security of tenure, and when they were illegally terminated, they should be reinstated to their position without loss of seniority rights, and they should be paid their back wages from the time na natanggal sila hanggang sa magkaroon ng desisyon. So, natanggal sila in 2001, nagkaroon ng desisyon si arbiter in 2007. So, 6 years. Ang sabi ni labor arbiter, nag-award si labor arbiter ngayon ng back wages, 13-month pay, service incentive leave, and cost of living allowance sa 6 na construction workers in the amount of 3.6 million. Okay? So, ayun yung sabi ni labor arbiter. Ngayon, si employer nag-appeal sa NLRC. Pagdating sa NLRC, binaliktad ngayon ni NLRC yung desisyon ni labor arbiter. Ang sabi ni NLRC, yung status ng isang employee bilang project employee does not change because of the repeated hiring. Okay? So, kung project employee siya, kahit paulit-ulit mo siyang i-hire, hindi mababago yung pagiging project employee niya. It does not automatically make the employee a regular employee. Yan ang sabi ni NLRC. Ngayon, since sabi niya, valid yung termination, because their employment ended in view of the completion of the construction projects. So, ni-reverse ngayon ni NLRC itong si labor arbiter, nag-file ang motion for reconsideration, itong mga workers denied, umapila ngayon sila sa Court of Appeals. Pagdating sa Court of Appeals, binaliktad niya si NLRC and na-reinstate niya yung decision ni labor arbiter. Ang sabi niya, ang sabi ni Court of Appeals, the failure of the employer to present a written contract of employment showing the duration of the project. Okay. Yun yung kinonsider naman ni Court of Appeals, yung failure na employer na makapag-present ng written contract of employment. Alright? Na nakasaad doon yung duration ng project, yung start and end of the project. Dapat kasi malinaw yon sa employee. Dapat alam ng employee kung kailan mag-start at kung kailan magtatapos yung project kung saan siya magtatrabaho. Okay? So, sabi ni Court of Appeals, the absence of a written contract does not by itself grant regular status. Okay? Hindi naging regular employee itong mga construction workers dahil lang doon sa kawalan ng employment contract. Alright? Pero, sabi ng korte, ebidensya iyon na nasabi mo o naipaalam mo sa empleyado yung duration, yung kung gaano katagal yung kanyang trabaho at kung ano yung trabahong gagawin niya. Tapos yung status niya bilang isang project employee at the start of the engagement. Ibig sabihin, nung una pa lang, noong araw na hinire mo siya, nung araw na dineploy mo siya or tinanggap mo siya bilang empleyado, dapat alam na niya kung ano yung status niya, alam niya kung kailan mag-start, kung kailan magwawakas, at kung ano yung scope of work niya. Okay? As a project employee. Yun ang sabi ni Court of Appeals. Therefore, sabi niya, yung award na back wages and reinstatement is hereby granted. So, binalik niya ngayon yung desisyon ni labor arbiter. Binaliktad niya sa NLRC. Alright? So, motion for reconsideration was denied. Pumunta sila ngayon sa Supreme Court. Etong si employer. Pagdating kay Supreme Court, nag-distinguish si Supreme Court between a regular and project employees. Okay? Under Article 295, a regular employee was defined as the unemployment shall be deemed to be regular where the employee has been engaged to perform activities which are usually necessary or desirable in the usual business or trade of the employer. Except, okay? Okay. Unahin muna natin yung first part. So, ang employment ng isang empleyado, kapag usually necessary or desirable sa business or trade ni employer, regular employee siya. So, in this case, construction workers sila, ang negosyo ni employer is construction business. So, necessary and desirable yung position nila like, ano na ba yung position nila? Plumber, pipe fitter, steelman. So, necessary siya, kailangan siya sa construction business, di ba? Ngayon, under Article 295, may exception to the rule, except where the employment has been fixed for a specific project or undertaking, the completion or termination of which has been determined at the time of the engagement of the employee. Alright. So, may exception to the rule. Pero yung exception na yon, mayroong requirement. Okay? So, pwede kang mag-hire ng project employee kahit na yung gagawin niya ay necessary or desirable sa business mo, hindi siya regular employee, may requirement nga lang. Dapat yung specific project or undertaking na yung fixed project na ipaalam mo sa empleyado yung duration, yung completion, okay? Kung kailan matatapos, at the time na hinire mo siya, okay? At the time of the engagement ng employee. Alright. Ngayon, sa second paragraph ng Article 295, defined naman yung casual employment. Unemployment shall be deemed casual if it's not covered by the preceding paragraph. provided that any employee who has rendered at least 1 year of service, whether such service is continuous or broken, shall be considered a regular employee with respect to the activity in which he is employed, and his employment shall continue while such activity exists. So, ang sinasabi dito, casual employee, kapag ka hindi pumasok doon sa regular employee defined or project employee defined sa first paragraph, casual employee siya. Yun nga lang, kapag ka nag-render na siya ng 1 year of service, whether continuous or broken, considered regular employee. Alright? So, sabi pa ni Supreme Court, meron kasi tayong Department of Labor and Employment's Department Order number 19, series of 1993, ito yung known as DO-19. Guidelines ito governing the employment of workers in the construction industry. It provides in Section 2 na the employees in the construction industry are generally categorized as project employees and non-project employees. So, meron tayong dalawa, project and non-project. Project employees are those employed in connection with a particular construction project and whose employment is coterminous. Okay? Kasabay na magtatapos ng proyekto. Yung kanyang employment ay kasabay na magtatapos ng proyekto to which they are assigned. Okay? Now, pagdating sa project completion and rehiring of workers under DO-19, upon completion of the project employee may be rehired for another undertaking provided, okay, such rehiring conforms with the provisions of law and this issuance, yung DO-19. In such case, the last day of service with the employer should be indicated in the employment agreement. Okay. So, inaalaw ba ang project employee? Yes. Inaalaw ba yung repeated hiring ng project employee? Yes. Pwede ba na ma-rehire siya without making him a regular employee? Yes, under DO-19, provided, okay? Ito yung catch. Sa employment agreement, malinaw sa empleyado yung kanyang last day of service with the employer. Alright? And then malinaw sa kanya na yung project, yung kanyang employment is co-terminus or kasabay na magtatapos ng proyekto kung saan siya na-hire. Ayun yung provision ng DO-19. So, sabi ni Supreme Court, based on the foregoing provisions, generally deemed regular employment kapag ka yung trabaho mo is desirable and necessary sa business ni employer and si employee ay na-engage or nagtrabaho at least 1 year dun sa kanyang posisyon. And then, sabi ni Supreme Court, ito yung definition ng regular employment. Okay? Now, yung project employee, kapag ka na-hire ka for a specific project and the completion o yung pagtatapos ng project was determined at the time of the engagement ng employee. Dun sa araw na siya ay tinanggap or na-hire. So, yung services ng project employees ay kasabay na magtatapos ng proyekto. Okay? Now, in the instant case, sabi ni Supreme Court, nabigyan ba ng notice etong mga empleyado na sila ay i-hire or i-engage for a specific project? And kung ang notice ba na ito ay nasabi nung time na sila ay na-engage or na-hire. Ayun. Ngayon, ang sabi ng Supreme Court, dito, nag-fail si employer. Hindi siya nakapag-present ng substantial evidence na nagsasabi o nagpapakita na naipaliwanag niya o nasabi niya o naipaalam niya sa mga construction workers yung duration ng ng kanilang project, yung start and end ng kanilang project, and then yung scope ng work ng mga construction workers at the time of their hiring and engagement. Okay? Kasi the Supreme Court found out na yung mga employment contracts nila are only for some projects, pero may mga projects na wala silang employment contract. So, lacking in details yung kanilang mga employment contract regarding the duration and scope of work and the status as project employees at the time of hiring. Kasi importante na ma-explain mo yun, maipaalam mo yun sa tao at the time na ma-engage sila. Kasi kailangan nilang sumang-ayon na sila ay project employee at magtatapos yung kanilang employment upon the completion of the project. Ngayon. So, there was no employment contract or there was no evidence enough to prove na etong mga empleyado ay nasabihan kung ano yung kanilang employment status as project employees at yung duration ng kanilang project. Ang sabi pa ng Supreme Court, noong nilipat sila sa iba-ibang project na wala ng employment contract, noong sinabi ng mga construction workers na nalipat sila sa iba-ibang project na walang employment contract, hindi ito na-refute na employer or hindi siya nakapag-present ng evidence to the contrary. Okay? Para baliktarin yung sinasabi ng mga construction workers. So, sabi ni Supreme Court, failure ni employer na makapag-present ng ebidensya, okay, na nasabi niya sa mga employee yung duration and scope ng kanilang project employment, the employees now has become regular employees. Although, sabi uli ng Supreme Court, yung kawalan ng written contract does not by itself grant regular status. Okay? Hindi dahil sa walang employment contract, automatic magiging regular employee sila. Hindi yon. Ang sabi ng Supreme Court, ebidensya mo sana yung employment contract na nasabi mo doon sa empleyado at the time of engagement or nung hinire mo sila na sila ay project employees and na nasabi mo kung kailan magwawakas yung kanilang trabaho. Okay? So, ebidensya mo sana iyon. Nung hindi ka nakapagbigay ng ganong ebidensya, nagkaroon ngayon ng doubt whether the employees are informed of their employment status as project employees. Alright? And sinabi din ng Supreme Court na yung hindi pag-submit sa DOLE ng termination ng mga construction workers every time na matatapos ang project indicates na sila ay regular employees, that they are not project employees. Ano pa ang sabi ng Supreme Court? The employer has the burden to prove that an employee was hired for project employment. Okay? So, lagi nating sinasabi yan. Kapag ka-question mo yung termination mo as an employee, alright, ang magpapatunay na valid yung pagtanggal sa'yo ay ang employer, hindi ikaw. So, kapag ka hindi nakapagpresenta ng substantial evidence itong sa employer para patunayan na legal yung pagtanggal sa'yo, ang sabi ng Supreme Court, yung allegation of illegal dismissal will be held. Papanigan yung allegation ng mga empleyado regarding their illegal dismissal. Alright? Now, mm, sabi ng Supreme Court, respondents were illegally terminated. So, accordingly, yung award ni labor arbiter na 3.6 million um, na-reinstate and so in-affirm niya yun and meron pang 6% interest per annum sa lahat ng monetary awards na binigay sa mga construction worker from the finality of decision until full payment. Ayun yung sabi ng Supreme Court. So sa mga minamahal nating construction workers dyan, tignan nyo, baka yung employment ninyo ay very similar o katulad o kahawig na kahawig ng kaso natin ngayon na tignan nyo yung mga employment contracts ninyo. Kung kayo ay repeatedly hired for over 20 or 30 years na, hindi na kayo project employee. Okay? Regular employees na kayo and you are entitled to security of tenure. Alright? So, please like my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Attorney Promdi, for more discussions of cases. Thank you for watching and I hope nakatulong po ulit tayo.